Building Reliable Process Models, Part 3, Introduction to BPMN 2.0 Shapes. Today it's pools and lanes, with me, Declan Cheller. This tutorial is aimed at people who are new to process modeling and experienced process modelers who want to take a more structured approach. But first, some symbols. Instructions are indicated by this graphic, handy tips by this one, warnings by this one, quotes from the BPMN 2.0 specification by this one, and pop quiz questions by this one. What is a pool? According to the specification, a pool is the graphical representation of a participant in a collaboration. Well, that's grand, but it doesn't help if you don't already know what a participant or a collaboration is. So what is a collaboration? The specification says, a collaboration is a collection of participants shown as pools. Great! So we can't understand pool without understanding collaboration and vice versa. What is a participant? According to the specification, a participant represents a specific partner entity, for example a company, and/or a more general partner role, for example a buyer, seller or manufacturer, that are participants in a collaboration. All clear so far? The problem with these definitions is that they're circular. But that's okay, because the BPMN specification is a reference work, not a teaching tool. The specification isn't easy reading, so let me break it down for you. What is a pool? You use the pool shape to contain the activities of a particular process or sub-process, or to represent an external entity, such as a person or organization that interacts with a process. The outer edge that defines the pool shape is called the boundary. Remember this word, you're going to hear it again. The pool name goes here. Since our pool represents a process or sub-process, it should be labelled with a verb phrase to reveal the objective of the process. Remember that in my video on defining process scope, I emphasized the importance of understanding what is being processed. Well, the noun in the pool name will typically represent the what. The verb should reflect the main activity of the process. Verbs such as manage, fulfill and handle are common. Noun phrases do not make good process names because processes are about activity, and a phrase that lacks a verb obscures the core activity of the process. These are all inadequate examples for that reason. What is a lane? The specification says, lanes are used to organize and categorize activities within a pool. Process pools consist of at least one lane by default, even if it's not named. A lane typically represents the performer of any tasks that sit within it, but the specification does not enforce any particular meaning. Include a name for the lane if it adds clarity. Performer names are always noun phrases and can represent individual roles, teams, or departments. Or they can represent activities that are to be automated. In other words, we treat the automation itself as a performer. If it adds clarity, you can nest lanes. Do lanes represent business roles or system logins? Pause the video if you need to think about it. Lanes represent business roles because we're modeling a business process, not designing a software system. Roles that perform activities within the same process must be modeled as lanes within the same process pool. So this is correct. But this is not. Black box pools. To paraphrase the BPMN specification, a black box is a pool that shows no internal details. You can have pools outside the process to represent entities or other processes that interact with your process. If we do not model what happens inside them, they're known as black box pools. Since we don't model what's inside them, I prefer to represent them like this. Why do you think we don't model what happens inside a black box pool? Pause the video if you need to think about it. We do not model what happens inside a black box pool because we don't know, or we don't care, or we cannot control it. Message flows between pools. Again, paraphrasing the specification, the exchange between participants is shown by a message flow that connects two pools. A message is the concept of an interaction between pools. It does not specifically mean an email, phone call, or carrier pigeon message. We'll focus on messages in a later video. What's the difference between a participant and a performer? Pause the video if you need to think about it. A participant is an entity or process represented by a pool. A performer is a role that performs tasks within a pool. Never confuse the terms participant and performer. Let's recap those definitions. A pool represents a process or an entity interacting with a process. A collaboration is a collection of interacting pools. A participant is a pool in a collaboration. A message flow represents an interaction between participants. A lane organizes and categorizes activities within a pool. What's next? In my next video, I shall cover event shapes. Watch out for my other tutorials on such topics as structured approach to building a process model, when to model decision logic instead of process logic, introduction to modeling business concepts. If you found this tutorial useful, please click like and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you.